That never happens when you're actually writing, does it?
In my head. Actually, no. I mean, that's the weird, wonderful, fantastic side of. Here, let me put the stuff I'm carrying down. The wonderful side of. I will crush the candy bars, the power bars. The wonderful side of doing something like this is that the entire writing process is so ridiculously lonely, and you come up with a great line and you write it down, and the room is quiet. And I mean, my kids and my wife make fun of me because they get to see the facial expressions I make while writing. And they'll say, "You should see yourself." And I go, "Why? I'm just writing." They're going, "You go." And I'm going, but that was what was happening in the story, so obviously I was doing that. But apart from me making strange facial expressions that I can't see, the room is normally quiet and nothing interesting is going on. So there's that wonderful moment for me of reading a line out to an audience that I thought might be funny, or I thought might be shocking, or I thought might, just work. And the audience makes the noise, the appropriate noise.
Yes, good noises.
Best noise I've ever heard from an audience ever was here in LA about 5 years ago on the Graveyard Book Tour. Was anybody here for that? And every other stop the idea was I would go to a city and I would read a chapter from my book. And, chapter 1 was in New York, and chapter 2 was in Philadelphia.
Sure.
But chapter 7 is twice as long, exactly twice as long as any of the other chapters. So all I did before coming out on stage was I went flip, 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 flip. Okay, it's that many pages, so that's here. And I stopped halfway through and wasn't really even looking. And I said, well, that's a good place to stop, at where I hadn't sort of thought it all through. But there is a moment in chapter 7 of the Graveyard Book where somebody that you think up until that point has been a very good, nice person suddenly reveals themselves to be a very nasty, dangerous person indeed. And that was the point where I went, well, that's exactly halfway through, I'll stop there. So I got to that point, and I heard an entire audience go, and then I closed the book. And the entire audience went, oh. It was the best.
You should have raised the price, like double the price right on the spot. There's another noise that people make to celebrate things, and that's at the cash register, and you're celebrating some very good news today, right?
I am, much to everybody's astonishment. We were genuinely astonished. I had the conversation with my wonderful editor, Jennifer Braille, a few days ago, and I said, are we going to make the New York Times list? And she said, honey, we're going to make the New York Times list. And I said, oh, well, that's good. Are we going to, do well? And she said, well, there's some big people in there, and then there's Dan Brown, and he is at number 1, and he is going to be outselling everything by a factor of about 2 to 1.
Sure.
So they will be buying them in the Costco's. Those books are going to be going, and
but do they read them in the Costco?
You just have to be used to that. I'm saying, oh, okay, fair enough. And so yesterday I'm sitting, signing away, doing the pre-signing thing, where, basically, so anybody who's here at 10 o'clock and has a babysitter to get back to can go, I don't want to meet him that much. I can see him. I will take this signed book, this unsigned book, I will trade it for a signed book. It's fine. I'll catch him next time. So I was signing my way through, and the phone kept ringing, and I thought, oh, I'm finally finished. I answered it, and it was my agent, and she's like, okay, New York Times list. And I said, oh, how do we do? She said, you're number 1. So.
That's good. That's very good.
It is wonderful. I have
Yeah.